Okay, it tells me I'm live. This is the first time I've done a live using my new webcam. So hopefully it's going to work. The notifications are going to go out and people are going to join me. Um, anyway, for those watching this video and catch up, I'm Andrew. Hey, looks like we've got some people here. Excellent, it's working. Apparently I've got one viewer and 3 people commenting in the chat, so that's good. Hey Chris, hey Ads, hey DBG, hey Kerry Ann. Yeah, look, I'm live on the new webcam in high definition. No more terrible falling over with cameras and use of tripods and whatever. We're stable as long as I maintain position with the laptop in my lap. So yeah, no dressing gown either this time. Yes, thank you for putting that out. I managed to get away with that. Hey Sharon, good to have you with us. Yeah, anyway, so up to 300 subscribers now, so that's ace. Thank you everyone and welcome new subscribers. For those who are unfamiliar with the channel and who I am, I'm Andrew. AJ, good to have you with us. I'm Andrew. I run the moneymental.co.uk website, website dedicated to money and mental health. I'm a part-time eBay reseller and I suffer with anxiety, depression and Asperger's as well. How do I say suffer? I have. I don't know. I don't know if suffer is the right word. It's something I experience anyway. So yeah. Hey Louise, good to have you with us. So the reason I am having this live today is because I thought it'd be good to start a sort of regular live series that's not really focused on eBay or reselling, but is instead focused on mental health. Because one part of the website I run is dedicated to mental health. I suffer from mental health problems, and I know I'm not the only one. And I know it's a subject that people find sort of difficult to sort of talk around or open up about. And that's an experience I've been through myself. There's quite a stigma sometimes around talking about mental health. People call us crazy. People get feared about being locked up, and all this kind of crazy stuff goes on. Crazy in a different context. So yeah, I thought it'd be good to talk around that, have a bit of a chat, share some of my experiences, my insights. I'm not a mental health professional in any way, shape, or form, so I can only talk about what I know and what I've experienced. But hopefully, I'll give an opportunity for us to sort of all talk in the chat as well, have a bit of interaction and help support each other. So, yeah, that's the intention. I'll just keep an eye on the chat as well. Yeah, I'm still getting used to this new having a webcam and this new screen. You're all there. I'm down here, but yeah, struggling for that a while. Some of the things that help me most is get. Yeah, well, it's funny enough. Actually, it's good segue in there that you've mentioned there about social interaction and such like. My experience has shown that most people will go through. Hey, Deal City, good to have you with us. Most people will go through during the course of their life at least one mental health crisis. I think the stats are in the UK anyway. I can't speak for the countries. That 1 in 4 people will suffer from a diagnosed mental health condition. But that's just the people who go out and seek help and get a diagnosis. There's a lot of people who don't perhaps feel able or aren't even aware that they're struggling mentally. Because I struggled with anxiety for years before I even realised that's what I had. That don't get diagnosed. So it's probably closer to, it could be as many as 1 in 2 people will suffer from mental health issues or problems in the course of their life. And of course, that 1 in 4 is only current. It doesn't include past or future sort of incidents that will happen to people as well. So yeah, I'm always a believer that actually mental health is something that affects probably at least half of us, maybe more. Maybe it's something we all experience to some degree. So yeah, bit about myself. I, as I sort of mentioned, had anxiety for a number of years. Didn't really realise that's what it was. I've been autistic since birth and not realised that either. But that's probably a separate subject for a separate sort of conversation. So if you just focus sort of, hey, Retro Reselling 82, Matt, good to have you with us. Anyway, yeah, so I had what you would call a mental health crisis in 2012. I experienced severe anxiety. I was sort of not able to sleep. I had severe depression. It was so bad that even sort of going out of this house, walking down the street, just filled me with terror. I was shaking, I was physically shaking all the time. It was horrendous, and I had no idea what was happening. Hey, Steve, good to have you with us. So, I tell you what, before we get into the subject, let's get into the shout outs as well. If you have not subscribed to Bolorama, to Crispy, to Deal City, to Retro Reselling 82, to KLC Reselling, and to Steve Green Adventure, please do click the three dots next to their names and subscribe to these guys, because these guys are out there putting out YouTube videos on a regular basis. And it's hard to do YouTube. So it would be great if you could subscribe. You don't have to even watch the content, but just getting those subscriber numbers up is a real bonus for us. So, and actually me, yeah, if you haven't subscribed to me, then, why not? I'm great. I'm professional now. I've got a proper Logitech, not a cheap webcam. This, although it only costed £20. This is £100 webcam. So, this is professional 1080p high definition you're seeing now. So yeah, go for it. Anyway, I'm ignoring occasional comments in the chat. But yeah, so let's get back to it. So 2012, massive, getting anxiety attacks. I'd had anxiety attacks for years. I didn't even realize what they were. I used to have a genetic condition, so I meant I had regular echocardiograms, so I knew my heart was in good shape. So I never worried that I was having heart attacks or anything like that. But yeah, I'd have sort of panic attacks quite regularly. I didn't know what they were. It was just a thing that happened, and I just forget about it afterwards, like, because they were so infrequent that I'd have a tightness of chest, struggle to breathe. But I didn't realize that they were all symptoms of a panic attack. I just carried on like that for years. And then, as I say, 2012, these were certainly happening. I went through a personal sort of thing that I won't really go into here, but let's just say the circumstances of my life sort of changed, and I felt like the whole world was collapsing in on me. And really, it was only a small thing that had happened. But in the scale of things, it just felt so huge, which is another symptom of anxiety. Everything that happens to you is like massive. It's the worst thing ever. Like literally, the world is about to end. You're going to die. Bad things will happen. And because you just lose control of your ability to be able to manage worries. And so something that, yesterday might have been fine, like today, for example, I have had a buyer open a return request. Hasn't phased me at all. But tomorrow, if I'm feeling dead anxious, that could feel like a really bad thing that could sort of ruin a day for me. So yeah, anxiety is not to be underestimated in terms of the impact it can have on you. But yeah, so I had this sort of massive anxiety and whatever, and this went on for months and months before I consulted the doctors, because I didn't know what was happening. I'm having anxiety attacks. I couldn't sleep. I didn't care whether I lived or died. I had that sort of self-destructive sort of feeling, which is sort of depression. I was dead irritable, angry. I was having sort of meltdowns almost on a daily basis. I was getting teary. I don't cry. I don't really. It just doesn't happen. But I was in a really bad place. And so finally, I started speaking to people, and they said, "Oh no, you're fine." They just looked at me and they thought, "Oh, you're okay. You just look normal. Don't know what's going on. You're fine." And I was like, "Oh no, I need to do something. I need to go to the doctors. Let's get pills and whatever." And people were like, "No, you don't do that. Don't get on pills. It's a dangerous road." Well, that's wrong. That is actually. If it had been something like a broken leg or whatever, you'd go to the doctors, the hospital, you'd take painkillers, you'd be fine. Well, you wouldn't be fine with a broken leg, you'd be in terrific pain. But, you would go on the road to recovery, you'd recuperate, you'd do your physiotherapy or whatever, you'd have an operation maybe, but you would do the steps to get stuff sorted for you. Hi Stu, sorry, I'm not really keeping up with the chat because I'm trying to focus for once on what I'm saying, but you know, I will catch up on the chat. Yeah, antidepressants and anxiety tablets are often the same thing, DBG. But we'll have a separate conversation about that. I have RSSIs for my anxiety, but also helps with depression as well. But yeah, anyway, so for months I didn't go and speak to them. I spoke to my friends, and they were like, "Oh no, don't do that. Go to the doctors. You'll be fine. You'll pull through it." And that was a mistake, actually, because the longer I left things, the more sort of damage was sort of happening to me. You know, if you think of the brain as a series of pathways, and you've got sort of healthy pathways that the happy thoughts go down, and perhaps unhappy thoughts that you sort of and your brain can sort of reconfigure itself, and the more unhappy thoughts you go in, it can build and build, and eventually your brain's just unhappy. That's a dead simple explanation that's not technical in any way, but it's the way I think of it, and it helps me. So yeah, anyway, I went to the doctors and they were dead unhelpful. So this guy's like, "Oh yeah, we'll refer you to see the mental health nurse in a few weeks." I was like, "Great, okay, you know, I'm feeling bad like this now. It's taken a lot. It's taken a lot for me to get there, you know, a lot. For me to recognize what was going on, to reach out for that hope, and the doctor was just useless." But I didn't take that for an answer. I went back a few days later and I saw a different doctor, and she was brilliant. And she was like, "Oh no, we need to get your medication straight away. Let's try and get a referral sorted to the crisis team. Let's get you in front of somebody speaking to them." Because, you know, I was suicidal at the time. You know, I was. I was suicidal. I was absolutely, you know, I'd see a bridge, I'd want to chuck myself off it. It was really bad, you know. I can't underestimate. I can't imagine how I felt then. It was just so bad and so traumatic that, yeah, it was literally, you know, like now, it's just like it was a different person that it happened to. But yeah, anyway, that's how bad it was. And yeah, fortunately, the second doctor I spoke to recognized that, got me the help I needed, and you know, it didn't end there. I had another 2 years of struggling like that, but I started to get some support in place. I changed the people who were around me. I think Brother Rama, Jay mentioned earlier about getting rid of toxic people. It's true. There are people sometimes who, you know, when you're happy and whatever, you're fine. But when you're not in a good place, you'd find that actually some of these people can sometimes drag you down. They're probably not even aware they're doing it, you know, probably not out of malice or anything like that, but they're just not healthy and conductive to your own mental state. So sometimes you've got to step away from those people in those situations. So yeah, I did that. Yeah, cheers, thanks, Brother Rama. So yeah, I did that. I changed to the people around me. I took the medication. First lot I had didn't really work. I went through another mental health crisis. I think it was 2015, and so the doctors changed medication for me, and put me on some cognitive behavioral therapy. And that sort of combination of changing medication and CBT really kept me going for the next 3 years, actually. And I did well out of that. I got promotion in work. I moved away from where I was living to go back to home. I bought a house sort of near my mother and everything back in the area I'd sort of grown up in. So that sort of really helped me as well, just having sort of friends and family around. Then I had another mental health crisis last year, you know. I had a horrible boss that just didn't understand me at all and was just, you know, it was just horrendous with her, absolutely horrendous. I think she had her own mental health issues as well, to be fair, but yeah, it was horrible. So I started seeing a therapist privately, and I thought, you know, come on, get this cracked. And so I was paying £40 an hour for a private therapist, and a couple of 2-3 sessions, she said, "You ever been diagnosed for Asperger's, for autism?" I was like, "No, nobody said that." And she said, "I really think you should explore this." So I did, and it turned out that I had autism, and then, you know, a lot of the help I'd received before hadn't sort of recognised that, and therefore the sort of treatment and support I'd had hadn't really worked for me, because my mind literally doesn't work in the sort of way that they were working towards. So Since then, I've been brilliant. I still get anxiety attacks on a daily basis and whatever, but I haven't felt suicidal, experienced those thoughts or anything like that for a long time now. And, you know, I feel sort of generally happy and sort of confident in myself. So yeah, but there's other things have changed and other tips I've got, which I think may help people. But before we go into those, I just want to have a quick read through the chat because I've sort of skipped a lot. So let's just see what's going on. Going out, looking around the charity shops helps. Yeah, absolutely. I find when I'm feeling anxious, I think I did a video the other week. I did a walk about the charity shops. I nearly went out there because I was feeling anxious, and going out and experiencing public situations certainly can help overcome some of that anxiety. Reselling helps by keeping your mind and body busy. I agree with that as well. Physically active, always great. Yeah, exercise definitely helps. Let's see what else we've got. So yeah, we've done the shout outs. Sassy Head. I have bipolar disorder and urge anyone who feels that feeling of despair to seek medical help. If you feel you aren't getting help from your GP, see a different GP and keep on and on them. That is absolutely spot on advice there from Tatty Head. I'll read that out again. I have bipolar disorder and urge anyone who feels that feeling of despair, in quotation marks, to seek medical help. If you feel you aren't getting help from your GP, see a different GP, keep on and on them. Absolutely 100% right. That's exactly what I had to do. I wish I'd gone to my GP a lot sooner. I used to beat myself up a lot for not going sooner because I genuinely felt if I'd sort of gone in the first 2-3 weeks, it might have taken me a lot quicker to recover. But I didn't. I've got to deal with that. I don't beat myself up about that anymore. I don't beat myself up about things very much anymore these days, but I did at the time. Yeah, okay, so I'll move past that. Pills weren't good for me. They gave me more anxiety and I had to slowly get off them over a few months. But my anxiety is specific to anything medical. So the idea of pill, yeah, absolutely, yeah. There's health related health anxiety, I've called. There's quite a specific type of anxiety that exists. So yeah, I hate going to doctors, hospitals, dentists, and all that stuff. But I think that's just because I can't be bothered. But yeah, it's a scary situation. My best mate and I grew apart. I only see him every 2 weeks due to sometimes touch me. Yeah, and that's a tough choice. There is nothing harder than cutting out somebody out of your life. But if you're feeling, if you're experiencing any sort of mental health problems, you have got to put yourself first. It's a common thing with mental health that you will put other people's needs ahead of yourself and you'll judge yourself by how other people judge you because your self-esteem is low, your self-confidence isn't there, and you've got to find a way to try and actually put yourself first. Say, actually, do you know what? I'm going to say no to this person today. I'll feel bad for it, but I'll feel a lot worse if I go along with whatever they're doing or if I start believing or thinking what they're saying to me. Keep on until you have answers. I have suffered anxiety, panic attacks, and wouldn't wish them on anyone. Highly recommend cognitive behavioral therapy or CBT, complete change of mindset. Yeah, I think that's a good thing. I think it worked to a degree for me because I'm not neurotypical. It didn't work as well as it could have done, but it helped. But for me, I struggle sometimes with sort of concepts and whatever. I have to experience stuff myself to understand it. Walking is good therapy, works for me. Yeah, absolutely. Exercise is vital. Hi, Sophie. Good to have you with us. Hi, CBB, Kaboot Bible. Good to have you. I went through some real dark times in 2008, ended up real messy. Had to have mental health team after work every hour. That got reduced. So I once got signed off. Might share the story. I would love to hear that story, retro reselling. You know, if you want it, that's something you want to sell, it'd be great. He posted. I think I've skipped some. I throw some headphones to do some rock climbing. Whoa, rock climbing. Yeah, definitely won't be doing that. But yeah, definitely some real tough stories there. He pushed his mum down the stairs and had to remove him in the house and put him to a care home that could help him. That's what sounds like you've been through some tough times there, Polly Pocket, as well. Anyway, I think I'm up to date with the chat. So yeah, so anxiety, horrible thing. Depression, horrible thing. Mental health is bad. But there are things we can do ourselves to help us on the road to recovery, shall we say. And the road to recovery is not an easy one. You know, tell you, I talk about the fact I've had sort of 3 mental health crises now. I may well have more in the future, but I have also had times where I've been absolutely brilliant. Like now, at the minute, I'm great. You know, I'm happy. I don't smile a lot. That's just me. It's my facial expression. But you know, I look. I'm good, mentally healthy. I still have anxiety attacks. I had one probably a couple today, but they don't stop me. They just happen. I carry on. But yeah, there's a few things that and we'll do probably a deep dive into each aspect on sort of future sort of talks. I'll try and keep this a Monday on 8 o'clock if I can, but I work away a lot, so I'll probably miss. I'll probably have to do sort of like I'll have to vary the schedule and whatever. But I'll always announce in the chat when I'm doing something, so those in the chat can have it. Those updates, and I'm in the Money Mental. I'm not in it. I am the founder of the Money Mental support group as well on Facebook, which is where we've got other sort of resellers who struggle with mental health can be on there. So you know, it is a something I will announce there. Hey Richard Payne, good to have you with us. I'm actually up to date with the chat, and I've actually kept focused on the topic, like, and talk through it, which is, you know, rare for me. But yeah, there's sort of, I've identified, and this again, this is me, my experiences, that sort of helped me. So you know, you've got to adapt it to yourselves and whatever works. But yeah, yeah, that's not the group, unfortunately, Brother Rama. Yeah, that's my Facebook page, which I should advertise the group on, so I'll do that. But maybe Kerry Ann could share a link to the group. But thanks for sharing that Facebook page link as well. I really should keep on top of my Facebook page. But yeah, I'm sure Kerry Ann can share it anyway if you can't find it. But yeah, so yeah, back to it. Five key areas to focus on. The first one, I'm just finding, I've written about this on the Money Mental website, so you know, this is my prompt. The first one, it's a dead obvious thing, and it's a dead hard thing to do as well, and to get, but sleep makes the biggest difference to your mental health ever of anything. Getting a good night's sleep, and I'm not talking about sleeping solidly for 12 hours or whatever, because actually that can be harmful. I'm talking about getting 7-8 hours of decent kip a night every night. Helps you physically, because it's actually when your body heals. So it heals any damaged cells, it boosts your immune system, it obviously gives you some recovery time as well to recover from the day's activities, and it recharges your heart and your cardiovascular system. So physically, it's a good thing. But it's also scientifically proven as well to reduce depression, reduce anxiety. It's okay. I think Jay has shared the group. Scientific, because it gives you, again, your brain chemistry a boost. So reduces depression, anxiety, low self-esteem, and low mood. But it is hard. Yeah, finding it hard to drift off is difficult. You've got to have things like, you've got to have your room at the right temperature. You've got to have decent pillows. There's an easy pillow test, which I'll talk people through and show, to see whether your pillows are actually up to scratch or not, that you can do. I'll show it like when I've got a pillow near me. I'll show it live on the next live, because the next live subject will be on the subject of sleep. I've had neuro-linguistic programming to help me with sleep, because I used to get 2-3 hours a night, which is not enough. Now I can sleep and I'm fine. At the minute, it's a bit of a struggle because I've got the tap mounting, which I need to sort out. But now I've got some storage that'll go. Yeah, no, it's okay. Jay shared the group further up, but I will pop a link in the chat because I can do that now that I have access to a webcam and I'm actually streaming in front of it. But yeah, getting enough sleep is the first thing. If you're getting 2-3 hours night of sleep every night, you're not going to be in a mentally good place. You're going to be terrible, and your mental health will suffer. But the getting that night's sleep is the first step. You can't do anything if you feel exhausted either, because the next good tip or the good thing that I took steps to improve my mental health. I invested in better pillows. I never used to sleep with a window open. I do that now because it keeps the temperature cool and simple stuff like that. I find if you remove a pillow and lay your head on the flat mattress without moving your head for 5 minutes, your eyes closed, I sleep instantly every time. There you go, top tip from Deal City. That's what helps Deal City. You've got to find your own things. For me, decent pillows, a really comfy mattress as well. My mattress cost me, it's £1,000 mattress, that is a lot of money. But it has made the world of difference. The old mattress I had was just sort of cheap one. It still cost a couple £100, which I thought was a big investment at the time. But yeah, since I got this new mattress, quality of sleep is immense. You don't have to pay up for a mattress. You've just got to find one that you're comfortable on, that suits you. Mine was 3K, yeah. So that's probably in with the exchange rate, that's probably about £1,600 to £1,700. Never suffered with mental health issues. My last few years become self-employed was incredibly stressful. Stress is a form of mental health, it's that leads to anxiety. Found hobbies like photography and art incredibly helpful. Yeah, it gives you that time for your mind just to relax and chill and de-stress. And that lying with my hands on my stomach and focus on my breathing helps me to sleep. Yeah, so there's all different things. For me, sometimes I just go into bed and I just bang, pass out now. I had a long time when that would never happen. I'd be up for hours worrying about things, thinking about the next day. £2,300, there you go. Yeah, so a decent mattress helps, but you haven't got the money for it. Find something that you're comfortable on. That's the key. So yeah, sleep, vital. Once you've sorted out your sleep, regular exercise is critical as well. We talked earlier about people going walking, people going rock climbing. Don't have to be as extreme as rock climbing. I went rock climbing. There's a picture. If you're friends with me on Facebook, you have a look through my Facebook history, you'll see a picture of me clinging on for dear life on a climbing wall, and I'm literally 2 feet off the ground. If I put a foot down, because I'm tall, I'm 6'4", if I put a foot down, I'd be touching the ground. Yeah, I didn't get higher than 3 foot that day. But yeah, I'm not a climber, but I tried it. You got to try different things. For me now, walking the dog, that's enough exercise for me. Walking around the charity shops, lifting and carrying stock, that burns a lot of calories. Thanks for being so open and honest. Sometimes you feel it's just yourself. Yeah, definitely not yourself showing it all. No, I think you'll find most of the people here have experienced a lot of what I'm talking about. Water also helps me, being near a river or the sea calms you down. Yeah, absolutely. Sound of rain. Nothing is more relaxing for me than hearing the sound of rain hammering on the window. I'm not talking like when it's a tsunami, not a tsunami, a monsoon, but just that sort of quiet pitter patter really helps. Yeah, 6'4". Yeah, I'll tell you what. Yeah, although every man does add an inch, but yeah, 6'4". Where was I? Hey, Adrian, good to have you with us. Welcome to the chat, Adrian. Another YouTuber. If you're not subscribed to, again, 3 dots next to his name, you can sign up. And same with Deal City as well. Don't think I mentioned Deal City's got some good YouTube content. So if you're into reselling, feel free to check out their channels and subscribe if you can. So yeah, exercise physically. Yeah, it might improve how you look. It might give you some muscles. It might improve your muscle tones. You're playing coach basketball. That's a big thing. I find that when I'm overwhelmed, it helps to spend time with friends. Yes, you're preempted now. You're going to number 3 there on the list there, CBB. But yeah, absolutely, quite right. So yeah, I think that was number 3 on the list. No, sorry, it's number 4 on the list. Number 3, something I don't do. But anyway, yeah. So exercise releases endorphins, which are sort of a natural antidepressant. I go to the gym, I work out, I get a rush. I come out of there, I'm feeling bouncing. I go in there beforehand and I'm like, I don't want to do this. This is torture. I'm torturing myself. I come out, it's the best thing I've ever done. Exercise also increases the level of, oh, I'm going to have to say this, norepinephrine. I don't know. I'm going to put a link in the chat to the article I wrote that reading from. But yeah, it increases another great chemical that can help moderate the brain's response to stress. We all get stressed, but how long that stress lasts for and strains and stays with you can be dependent upon this norepinephrine, swine, dry, fear, fun, whatever. I'm going German now. Chemical as well. And obviously you want that stress to stay with you for a little time as possible, because the more it stays with you, the more it can affect you physically and mentally. And it also helps prevent it also helps improve self-confidence and self-esteem. Exercise can help you look better. You look better, society judges you by your appearance. If you feel that you look better and healthier, then you will feel more confident, and that will help. Ali, he's not a giant, Chris. I'm 6'3" and regularly dwarfed by huge fellas and nice. So, tell you what, people in Wrexham are not allowed to be taller than me. That's the rules. They can't be out in Wrexham if they're taller than me. They have to go home. So no giants here. Anyway, it's not an official rule. Exercise also helps prevent a deterioration of the hippocampus. I can say that, mostly because it's the word hippo and campus, which actually helps prevent Alzheimer's in later life as well. So definitely works. Sorry to hear about that, Richard. Yeah, I was saying earlier, it took me nearly 6 months, I think, to go to the doctors, and even then, when I went to the doctors, they was useless, and I had to go to a different doctor's. But yeah, it's a hard thing, and going there, it's a big step. So I'm happy that you was able to go there, and it sounds like it helped you out as well. So that's good. And also, exercise can help combat addiction. It releases the chemical dopamine. I can say that again because that's the same chemical that comes out when you are doing something like eating. So if you're comfort eating or whatever, often you're comfort eating because it's releasing dopamine. So that feeling, that good feeling you get from it, that's dopamine. Same with alcohol, that's the chemical it releases. And same with drugs. Difference is you don't get any harmful side effects unless you over exercise and break something or whatever or injure yourself. But you don't get like the hangovers, you don't get the sort of the drug dependency, you don't get the getting fatter and the worry about that. So it's a great thing. So yeah, number 2, exercising. Yeah, I comfort eat incidentally. Yeah, so that's the dopamine that's sort of coming out. 5'5" is the perfect height for me, Louise. 5'4", 5'5", I'm happy. And Adrian, of course, yeah. Sorry, I should not be genderist there. So yeah, nope. In converse, I've missed something there from DBG. Then, how tall's DBG then? Have I missed DBG giving a height? I'll catch up anyway. My aunt is 4'2" and she still gets ID'd when buying alcohol. Dear me. Converse to show. I got some Converse to sell. They're in my new storage unit. I got a storage unit. I'm so excited and happy about that. 5'10". Oh, tall lady. Tall lady, DBG. Not as tall as me, obviously, but so I prefer my ladies to be shorter than me, which is a good thing given how tall I am. Because that means pretty much everyone. There's one lady in Wrexham who's taller than me. That's it. Yeah, I've seen your Converse, Chris B. Actually, I think you showed some of them on your video. Did you have some like Batman or Joker, some DC ones on or something? Proper height DBG. So we can assume Stu Maidry is 5'10" as well. Nothing wrong with that. I think that means that you don't lose as many brain cells as I've lost hitting ceilings over the years. Joker ones, that was it. Yeah, I remember them. Yeah. Anyway, I have a doubt. I watch the YouTube channels. I watch them all the time. It's like an addiction. Deal City does a lot of exercise as well, though I am concerned about the impact on your back from it, mate. But as long as you're being careful on that, it's good. So yeah, point number 3, and this is one I struggle with, to be honest, is diet. Again, it's an obvious one. We all know it. We all know that having a good diet gives us a healthier mind. But there is real science behind it, And I'm not saying go vegan or anything like that, because I think meat gives us benefits as well. That's not a criticism of anyone's vegan or vegetarian, by the way. I'm just saying that you don't have to feel you have to cut out meat or anything like that. But yeah, good diet, critical for brain development throughout our lives. Helps nourish the protein building blocks, enzymes, brain tissue, and neurotransmitters that transmit information. And if these degrade because you're not having the sort of good diet, then that can actually lead to you feeling worse. And it helps your brain grow. Certain essential nutrients can help increase the connections between your brain cells, a lot of which are missing in my brain. So if you get things like a diet that's rich in omega-3s, which is the sort of stuff you get in cod liver oil and fish, and zinc, it can help sort of boost those connections. But if you have a diet high in saturated fats and refined sugars, some sort of stuff you get in junk food, it can have a negative impact, and it can actually degenerate those connections. I'm glad to hear your back's. Yeah, I don't follow a good diet as often as I should, but I do have a better diet than I used to have, which is a step forward for me, because I used to live off junk food, takeaways, whatever. I have 1 or 2 takeaways a month now. That's it, and I've noticed a difference, to be fair. So the simple steps like that. But yeah, and also good food, good diet fills your gut with healthy bacteria. Good bacteria fends off bad germs, keeps your immune system in check, and some can even help actually make vitamins in your gut, vitamin B, I think, or something like that, which again helps power your brain, and therefore helps sort of those connections and stops you feeling sort of bad. Whereas if you high sugar diet, again, it has the opposite effect. And if you suffer from schizophrenia, actually, high sugar diet can really exacerbate the symptoms of that. So yeah, it's an obvious one, but there are changes we can make. We don't do it, but maybe we should. Regular exercise can encourage better diet as well. Yeah, good tip there. Let's have a look. Let's just go up on the chat. Diet I found difficult as I live on my own. Yeah, I mean, eating a lot of fish for me used to mean getting a lot of fish from the fish and chip shop, but now I get filleted fish, salmon, that sort of stuff helps. I plan to issue an open invitation to any reseller to come to my hometown in the Midlands to come spend the day with me and go around my town's 8 charity shops. I should have. I think there's an events page in the chat, Adrian. I think you can drop an event in there. I know that there's one going up in Newcastle, I think, next week. Yeah, next Thursday. A few resellers going to that. There's one that Pete Ray has got set up as well in Epsom in Surrey. I can't remember the date on that. I think it's the 27th of March. Could be wrong on that, but it's this month anyway. And there's another one that for some reason I'm down as the host on, because I created the event in the chat, but it's not as Carla who's the host. That's in Bristol on 27th of April. I'll be going to that one, by the way. I'd encourage you all to join me there. It'd be great to meet some of you in person. But it is in Bristol. I know it's difficult for people to get to. It's a 3.5 hour drive for me, so I'm going to be staying over. But yeah, we'll just get a few pints and enjoy it. Meet some fellow resellers. So yeah. Yo, Adrian, just realising in chat. Yeah. I found that regular exercise can encourage better diet. Absolutely. Do a lot of walking. Yeah, walking. I do that now. I walk miles. If I had a Fitbit, I'd break it probably because I walk too much. Not too much, so much. On the subject matter, nothing beats exercise. Yeah, if I feel rubbish, I just go out and source. Kills 2 birds. Yeah, absolutely. Sourcing is a good way to get exercise. Eat rubbish most days, but always have high protein and 1800 calories daily. Watching Antique Roadshow earlier, and then Brixton is a tat shop. Looks like a hoarder's house. There's 5 items for £1 on everything. Good tip there. Switching on the same. I get really low before Christmas because of my diet. I mean, obviously it's due annually and feel so much better. There you go. Thanks, Louise, for sharing that. Hi, Sue. Good to have you with us. we're just going through some tips in terms of improving mental well-being. Now we sort of shared our experiences of some of our health issues we experienced. Just going through some tips, high level, because we'll go into sort of more detail on those in future lives. Thanks for pointing out KLC channel. Yeah, Louise has got a great channel. She's YouTube is already much better than mine, and she hits 100 subscribers in no time. So you know that's a sign of quality there. Just have an exercise bite. Yeah, that's good. App on the phone, that helps. So yeah, hope to be going to Bristol. Yeah, that'd be good. Good to see if you're there, Richard. Don't know if Derek can make it as well, but if Derek's going, that'd be ace as well. So yeah, what else have we got? Where were we? So we did that exercise. Point number 4, which is actually sort of in some ways can be linked to the exercise. This is one I wasn't really aware of before, but sunlight can make a real difference to your mental health as well. I guess it probably kind of makes sense if you think about it. People who unfortunately suffer from seasonal affectation disorder get that in the winter when there's less sunlight, and that's actually probably and the reason they have sort of light therapy to help with that is because there's not enough sunlight, and therefore they suffer as a result. So yeah, sunlight is again a great vital thing for mental health. It's actually the vitamin D that it gives you that's the big thing that helps, because vitamin D is a great thing for reducing depression, reducing anxiety, helps increase serotonin, which is the thing that helps combat the seasonal affective disorder. And there's also sort of physical evidence as well that getting exposure to sunlight can actually help reduce the risk of developing cancer, particularly colon cancer, pancreatic cancer, and prostate cancer. So combining going out for a walk with going out for a walk in the sun, if it's a rubbish day, you're still getting some of that vitamin D in you, that sunlight going on you, that will help. And then you might get a suntan as well, and you might look good as a result. But yeah, even when it's a rubbish day, just go out there, walking out to charity shops, doing a bit of sourcing. You're going out there, you're getting that sunlight. It can really, really help. And I've done a lot more research into that as well, which we can talk about. But yeah, I know it's difficult as well if you've got sort of social anxiety like I have, or just anxiety in general, to get up and find the motivation to get out of that house. I think for me, the motivation is me telling myself that if I do it, it will make me feel better. It might not make me feel better now. It might not make me feel better later on today, but it will definitely make me feel better tomorrow. So yeah, sunlight. There you go. Who knew? It's like the greatest thing ever. And then the final thing, simple socialization, which again, if you've got social anxiety, is horrible. Like, whoa, what a terrible prospect. But actually, you get social interaction. There's some real sort of scientifically proven benefits that come up there. People who interact and have good levels of social support live longer than people who are isolated. Which is probably going to scare a lot of resellers now, but I'm talking about having sort of friends and family around that you can interact with. And again, because you've been exposed to sort of more people, it boosts your immune system as well, because you're sort of having to deal with more sort of disease that you're picking up from other people and whatever. But that does help boost your immune system, and interacting with others help improves your sense of well-being as well. Your sort of confidence, your self-esteem can be improved by laughing and having a laugh with people, and just enjoying being in people's company. And the more social connections you build, the more opportunities you have to get that level of engagement and to improve on things for you. And what you'll find is there's a lot of other people out there who feel exactly the same as you do, but you just don't know it. When I first sort of coming out is the right phrase, but when I first came out as having sort of mental health problems and whatever, the amount of people I was able to connect with as a result was in the hundreds. Just because lots of people coming up to me who I'd known for years and never knew had any mental health problems, suddenly felt comfortable sharing those with me, and we could talk through things together then, and we built, and it brought us closer together. We built those links, and now, you know, I can have this chat with you guys. I can talk to people, you know, friends and family about things that, you know, I never would have dreamed of being able to talk about, you know, in the recent past. So yeah, I'm not shy. It's just getting to play strangers. Yeah, absolutely. That's the social anxiety. You know, I have that. I have bad social anxiety. I hate meeting strangers. Whereas sometimes people speak to me, I can't speak back to them, and I just have to leave. But it's one of those things. The more practice you get at it, the less the anxiety is. It does go, and you'll probably always still be there. Still always get a little bit of it, but you'll find that you relax into things quicker because the more you've experienced something in the past, the easier it becomes to deal with. So yeah, and I found that, you know, myself. So you know, I'm sort of speaking from personal experience there. And again, social interaction apparently can also lower the risk of dementia. So yeah, people who have more social interaction perform better in terms of memory and cognitive skills apparently. So yeah, yeah, I have that as well, Chris. I I find, and this might be helpful for others. There's is it Meetup has stuff on there for people who have social anxiety, specific groups created where there's no sort of judgment or pressure, and where you can meet other people who are just as socially anxious. So you can literally just sit there and not talk to each other all day if you want to, but you're there, you've made the effort to go out and sat there, and there's other people, you know, there's other people who are feeling exactly the same as you, and so other people who might be speaking 1,000 words a minute. I do that sometimes when I'm anxious, you know, it just flows out of me and I say anything and everything, and afterwards I'm beating myself up because why did you say that? Why did you say this? You know, oh, I can't believe you said that, and that was just horrible. And all those thoughts come in, but they're coming less and less now because I'm more and more used to doing it. I'm more relaxed, more able to. I hate this phrase. I hate the phrase being yourself because you're always yourself. You can't be anyone else. It doesn't make sense to an autistic brain. But I think you guys will understand what I say, hopefully, when I say you can be yourself a bit more, because you be more relaxed, I think. So, yeah. But I've taken that in sort of a vague order. I think possibly the easiest, I think in terms of the things that you could maybe tackle first, maybe the diet, and then maybe walking, and then getting the sunlight as part of that, which gives you the exercise, and then you can start moving on to maybe tackling these big scary social situations. I think, you know, giving as much as eye contact as possible, being as nice as possible to people remote me is great. Yeah, absolutely. But I'll, you know, make sure the eyes are looking in the right place, not anywhere they shouldn't. I talk too much. I can't remember what I said. Yeah, I have that all the time. I won't remember what I said on this live. I'd have to watch it back to see what I'd said, but at least YouTube records it for me. Um, I think sometimes you just need to let go of everything, and even though you get to say it at the time, feel that, yeah, letting go can be hard though. You know, sometimes because we do beat ourselves up. You know, and I used to hate that expression, just let go of it. You know, as if it's that easy to do. It's hard sometimes, but I'm starting to understand a bit more what that means about acknowledging something has happened. They teach you this on CBT, that you can acknowledge something has happened, and you can sit and acknowledge that for a few seconds, and then you put it down again and you move on to the next thing. I believe in treating people how you want to be treated yourself. It costs nothing to be nice to each other. Yeah, totally right. That's, do you know what? This is something I've always struggled with though, right? I always try and be nice to people. Um, you know, I can be totally inappropriate, whatever, but I always try and be nice to people, and yet then they're not nice to me, and I'm like, I can't understand why people are then nasty, but I don't know. I just don't get it. And to be honest, I don't want to understand it. I don't understand why people are like that, really, you know, because it's not me. And so, you know, why should I have to understand other people's nastiness? But yeah, I'm sure Peter Ray said this was awesome. Yeah, he's got Asperger's. Yeah, he's invited. I think he subscribes. So you know, he may watch this when he's got the opportunities, but he's probably just busy tonight, to be honest, Tatty Head. But yeah, he's definitely invited. And I've talked to him about this before. Anyway, so yeah, that was it. I have been talking for 50 minutes, so thank you for sticking with me. It's been a good chat. I've shared sort of what I wanted to share. What I'll do is I'll talk around each subject a bit more in the future. Those 5 sort of areas. I'll talk about what I've done, how it's helped me, and then we can sort of share our own experiences as well, and how it's helped others. And you know, as I say, maybe that will help. Yeah, no worries. Cheers. Thank you, DBG. Yeah. Oh, as always, I've not had my dinner yet, but I've got to get to the parcel shop, drop off some parcels, get to Aldi before they shut, and make some dinner. Time for quiz. I do want to do quizzes in the future, maybe. I don't know. I like a good quiz, but yeah. Yeah, cheers, Adrian. Yeah, so unless there's anything else anyone wants to sort of bring up in the chat, I'll give it a minute or two for people to type any messages or experiences they want to share. But if not, I think, yeah, picture me. Yeah, I can't draw. Right. Literally, I have no artistic talent. My dad's an artist. He's a fantastic artist. He's real talent. I can't draw at all. I can write. I think I write well, you know. Speak for myself. It's the feedback I get anyway. But yeah, my creativity is more in the written field. Hangman, then yeah, I could do Hangman. Although, you know, I will keep up with like 20 different people guessing a letter or whatever. I think that would be difficult. But yeah, anyway, okay. I'm going to say goodbye and good night to everyone. Pip Doctor said I didn't have social lines. I used to want to. Yeah. That's just idioticness. Yeah, no worries. Thanks, Louise. Thank you for joining us. It's been a pleasure having you with us. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to say good night to everyone. Cheers, Chris. No worries, cheers. Thanks, Richard. Thanks, Tatty Head. Thanks for joining us. There's an end stream button down here. Cheers. Thanks. Let's carry on. End stream. Why did I ask me a question? I mean, literally, I've gone to the effort of clicking the end stream button, and then, are you sure you want to end your stream? Yes, I am sure. I'm going to click the end now. Thanks, everyone.